technical difficulties, but I think I might have figured some of this out. Um, I hope to God that that you can hear me. I have a new microphone that I got for Christmas, and I wasn't able to figure out how to use it because I'm a friggin' idiot. And my wife was like, "Well, look, why don't you read the directions?" And I am not a directions reader. I don't read directions. I never have, um, unless I totally screw something up, and then I have to go back and read it or whatever. So, like, I'm an idiot. Typical male, I guess. I don't know. Anybody else? Anybody else out there exactly like that and won't read directions to save their life? Um, I'd like to hear it. Let's get some light, shed some light on the subject. Um, yeah. So we're live. It's 2:30 Eastern time, and that is what I'm going to be doing. The time. Wait 1 second here. Give me 20 seconds. Actually, since I have the microphone still on, and I'm going to get a drink, I will just keep talking and yeah, so you can still hear me. Hopefully this is another test like the previous last Wednesday. But we'll see. Also, I don't know if I can see anybody that's viewing. Right, we have no viewers anyway. Let's see if we have live chat. All messages are visible. Top chat. Uh, let's see if we can do stuff. Flip, mute, hide live video, retouch, blah, blah, blah. Well, anyway, so I put on Instagram that I'm going to be doing Mutandis. I'm going to be drawing some Mutandis because I thought about it just the other day, and I was like, I've been debating on whether or not to do more Mutandis and when to do more Mutandis. I was always going to, but it was just when. And I think I got to crap or get off the pot and do another issue of Mutandis sooner rather than later. So I've got a few pages that I've already done for Funk. But let's get to the first thing. First thing is that there is 4 more hours until Morgrim, the Savage Cyclops, on Kickstarter is all done. So if you want to back it, it's up to $600, which I really, really appreciate you guys. And because it hit $500, everyone is going to get one of these busts. I did 8 of these yesterday, or 6 yesterday. I think I did 6 yesterday. I thought I was only going to be able to do 1 or 2 a day, but I think I can get away with doing 5 or 6 a day. Just creating them, and then I will, I've got to do some sanding and some filing and all that cool stuff. Hey, somebody's watching. If you're watching, can you please let me know? And because I don't know if I can see the text chat. So if you could throw me a hello, I'd really appreciate it. Whoever that may be. If not, that's cool too. You can just watch. So anyway, we've got all of these, and they are in the works. We have 28 issues. No, yeah, almost 28 issues printed out in newsprint. So we will be working on that in the next few days, because after it's all done, then really the clock is on, and we will be figuring out what we're going to be doing um, and how long it's going to take to get everything printed and everything for the Kickstarter to be fulfilled. I have like 9 or 10 of the hey, Natester. Thanks for saying that about the bus. I actually used a different. Well, no, this is pretty good looking. I used a different way of making the silicone mold. I went a little bit cheaper, and I'm using a silicone from the hardware store, pretty much. And I'm pretty happy the way it is. Although there was a bubble in there, so I got that, but I was thinking that some of the detail work, what I wasn't going to really come through. But I'm thinking that, yeah, other than the nostrils, the holes in the nostrils, I kind of figured I wasn't going to get really good detail work there. But the eyes look pretty good, and the nipples, which everybody loves, the Morgrim's nipples, pretty good, and the texture from the his shorts there, all look pretty good. One thing I am going to notice, that I do notice rather, is it has these little tiny bubbles, almost like I don't know. It's some kind of texture anyway, but that's fine. I think it gives it a little bit of an added um, quirkiness to it. So anyway, you can back Morgan. That'd be really cool. Random Access number 39 is out. It has not been shipped yet. It is all printed up except for the covers. I had some problem with the black ink. The black ink that I got, which is non-OEM, which is not original manufacturers ink, and so it kind of the black kind of rubs off, which is really sucks. So I have to cover it in like a glossiness, which is it does the job, but I would rather just print it and get it going. But I've ordered some more OEM ink, and the problem is that it's taken so long to get from Iowa or wherever. It's been a month, and then we had that big snowstorm. So I was shoveling the mailbox, and I didn't shovel enough, I guess, because we've had 2 days where the jerk mail guy didn't deliver my package because he couldn't get out of his truck. And I shoveled the second day. I shoveled with one of those hand shoveler things, not like an electric hand shoveler, and so I dug out as much as I could, like right up to the mailbox and everything. But I guess he couldn't just drive up and throw it in the mailbox, so he couldn't get his badass out and actually deliver the mail. Anybody who's a postal person, I am not disparaging you guys as a race or as a group. I really appreciate you guys, appreciate the USPS and the postal people. As a delivery person, I DoorDash. I fully understand the hazards and everything like that, and I truly appreciate the USPS. You guys have done a fantastic job as far as I'm concerned. However, this one dude, I'm not really cool with. So let's get into, oh, well, random access. I am going to, I don't know if I'm going to do it during the live stream. I think I'll have to, man, I'm going to poll some stuff, I guess, and see what people like in a live stream or not a live stream. I mean, most people don't watch the live streams live anyway. We've got a couple, which I really appreciate. And, but most people catch the videos later on. But even then, they do a lot. They don't get as many views as when I just plain do a video, which I don't really completely understand. YouTube and people are funky. Like one of the things that I notice is that um, uh, interviews really don't do well in YouTube. I don't really understand it. Why wouldn't somebody see like a fantastic interview from a great comic book artist or a writer or whatever and be like really into it? But for some reason, they're not really into the interviews. I don't really understand why. If anybody understands why, please let me know. Or if you have thoughts about watching interviews on YouTube, and why you wouldn't watch an interview, a really interesting interview, let me know, because I'd really appreciate that. So this is Random Access 39. I'm not going to go over it too much because I don't want to spoil anything for the patrons, but I am going to get this out this week. I'm going to cover the covers. I did enough to get it to all of the patrons, but then I'll have to backtrack and give give the rest of them to the copies to the actual artists inside that are doing their thing, which is really fantastic. I have had a really fun time doing this. Forlorn, coloring the Forlorn. Sometimes by coloring, I'm not really loving, but I'm really digging this these few pages of Forlorn. I think that's really cool. Especially, I really like the dragon wings and stuff like that. So I'm really enjoying doing it, and I want to get enough out to put out a third issue of The Forlorn. So Wednesday streams, we do a Marvel until I can get more of these obsessed with books, which I think there's 3 or 4 of them, and they're really not expensive. They're like $10 on eBay, if that. You can, I mean, it's 2,500 questions. It's huge for 1 or 2 players. How do you do 2 players? I didn't know there was 2 player things. That's awesome. But anyway, it's 1 player, and we're gonna try this out, and we're gonna do 3 questions. I do 3 a day. A stream. I am going to. I think I'm going to, because I have my other trusty phone here. I wonder if I can watch my YouTube Jeopardy and watch it here, and then kind of calculate the how I'm doing and stuff like that. That would be really cool to do that, and I might do that at some point because I've got this other phone that um, I'm working on, and I've got to make sure that my mic is still on and it's still green. So again, this is our second stream. Things aren't going to go perfectly. Nothing in life ever goes perfectly, but hopefully we'll get it there. So 2211, 2211 is the first question. Natester, if you're still there, I want you to throw out an answer if you know an answer to these questions. No Googling. Honors. This is honors. Um, honor, whatever it's called. Honor. It's how do they call it? It's by your honor, where you just say you won't do it, so you won't do it. I'm not loving the pictures. I kind of wish that there were questions instead of pictures, but 2,500 questions is pretty cool. 2211. We are getting there. Right here. All right. Who has not been a member of the 21st Century Guardians of the Galaxy? A. Mantis, B. Silver Surfer, C. Adam Warlock, D. Bug. Anybody? 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 Mantis. I think Mantis has been. Silver Surfer. I don't know. Bug. I don't know. I really don't know this. I'm not a huge Guardians of the Galaxy fan, other than the movies. I really love the movies, but the comic book. That's kind of one of the comics that I really love. The movies probably a lot more than the comic. Um, excuse me. Who's this? I don't know who that is. Who's that? Oh no, that's a Guardians of the Galaxy character. I think. I'm not sure who that is. Wait, in the 31st century, of an alternate future, a reptilian alien race called the Badoon conquered the Earth and is colonized by planets. A band of freedom fighters arose, known as the Guardians of the Galaxy, created by writer Arnold Drake and artist Gene Colan in Marvel. Blah 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 blah. We're not going to read that. Anyway, I'm going to say B. I'm going to say B. Silver Surfer. Correct. Silver Surfer was not it. Woo! So I am one for one. Beep boop beep boop beep boop beep boop beep boop. 2007. Not a bad year. Oh, and I went right to the page. Who was not a member of the Monster Hunters? A. Makari. I don't know who that is. Dr. Druid, Gilgamesh, Ulysses, Bloodstone. Gilgamesh. I don't know who Gilgamesh is in the Marvel universe. I'm gonna say Gilgamesh. C. Correct, Gilgamesh. I'm 2 for 2. Man, I'm awesome at this. Of course, that was a complete guess. So 1774. 1774. What relation is Matt Talbot to Glenn Talbot? Matt is Glenn's nephew. I don't know who Glenn Talbot or Matt Talbot are. Matt is Glenn's nephew. Matt is Glenn's cousin. Matt is Glenn's son. Matt is Glenn's brother. I don't know. I'm going to say brother. D. Why not? So I went 2 for 3. A. Matt is Glenn's nephew. All right, we're going to turn this off. 0802. So I appreciate that. I love doing some Marvel trivia, and we'll do that. I was planning on opening this up, But let's get to the drawing. Let's get to the drawing. I said that I was going to do some Mutandis drawing, and that's what we're going to do. 249. So my plan is to stream for an hour. So we're going to be streaming for until 3:30, and hopefully, and then I can get back to making some busts and doing all that cool stuff, drawing some more Mutandis. Actually, I will be making a bust because what I'm doing is I'm printing 10 pages of Morgrim, making a bust, and then I like bounce back and forth between those. So this is page 6, and this is what I'm kind of working on to show off that Mutandis is back. And anybody that has seen Funk #1 will remember that Mutandis was in that issue. Here's some Morgrim, actually. I don't want to show that yet. And we'll check that out later. But I'm feeling drawing the Mutandis. Here's more Morgrim. So the first 2 pages, this is 6, 5, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. No, 2, 1. Yep. Because for some crazy reason, I can't find the first 2 pages of Mutandis that I did for Funk. I was going to keep doing more Mutandis in Funk, but I kind of I lost the energy because I started doing Funk, or I started Funk rather, and then I started Entropy Alliance, and we did 2 issues of Funk, which issue number 3 is out. You can contact um, Degalado and Charles Degalado, and get them from him. And I think I'm going to be printing some copies for some of the contributors or something. I'm not entirely sure, but it was just too much. I couldn't do random access, Funk, and Entropy else that I wanted to do. I was working on Morgrim at the time. I was working on the Adventures of the Duke with Kurt and Jake, and it was just too much. So I had to cut something loose, and it was Funk, because it kind of Funk, like I got all these artists together, and it was like a more of a community thing, communal thing, where it was really like a democracy, pretty much, where we were kind of deciding which way to go. And uh, Chris Chris Knox, of course, troublemaker, because I was like, I kind of wanted it to be like a heavy metal random access kind of thing, only not have it be just me, because at the time random access was mainly just me. And so um, I made that up, got all of the artists together, got everybody working on it, and we were deciding what the title was going to be. And of course, Chris Knox chimes in with funk or something weird like that. And I was like, I wanted something cool, like the Eagle's Nest, or something cool. But all of these cartoonists, funny cartoonists, there were more funny cartoonists in funk than I kind of had originally anticipated, which isn't a bad thing, because I mean, I love the funny cartoons. Hate is one of my favorite comic books of all time, and I love my brethren cartoonists who veer more towards the humor. I love that. I love Paul Corton stuff. I love Chris Knox and stuff. Although Chris, you know, he does funny stuff, but it's serious funny. So yeah, I'm going to have him on here, and we're going to talk about stuff at some point soon. One of the problems with trying to get people on here, though, is different time zones is crazy. Like Chris lives in Portland, I think, Oregon, I think, something like that, which is 4 hours away. Me and Joe do it on Sundays, but really Wednesday has to be like a 2:30, 2 o'clock, 2:30 kind of thing. And it's really, I really kind of have to stick with that schedule. So I'm going to try to get people on here as much as I can, but time zones are really going to be a hassle. I asked Paul Corton if he wanted to be in it, but it was, a last minute off the cuff kind of thing. And I really hope he said he's going to try to carve out some time where he can hop on. That would be really fantastic. But anyway, I'm going to read you the first couple pages of Mutandis that we're on in here in Funk. And if anybody that knows Mutandis will have read the previous issues. And if you haven't, I'll kind of do a rundown of all of the Mutandis issues at some point. Sometime really soon, I'm going to do that. But anyway, continued from Mutandis number 6. So a lot has happened. But basically, the bad guys have killed Vaughn's sister and his cousin, and he has used a crystals, let's call it a magical crystal, to take the powers of Mutandis and killing them in the process. Um, you're the one who killed my sister, and now Sean too. Why? Why? Because you all stole from me. The war that ravages the Bjorn Empire hangs in the balance. The Bjorn and the Krieg are in an endless battle. Basically, they're kind of Kree and Skrull inspired, but really kind of they have their own thing. Like the Krieg and the Bjorn, I might as well just say it now, but they look alike. Only the Bjorn are more human, whereas the Krieg have these extra arms. Anybody that's seen this guy, he his armor has 2 extra arms, and one of the things that the Bjorn do, they both hate the Krieg, but they also envy them. They also are jealous of them. So they use their armor to kind of emulate what the Krieg naturally have. There's other, diplomatic things or political things that have ushered in this war. It's a war that will never stop. They just they hate each other. They live in 2 worlds that are very close to each other, and there's just a whole bunch of one of the Krieg were originally slaves of the Bjorn, and they broke away. So there's a lot of stuff to unpack about the Krieg and the Bjorn. Just barely dodged his attack. What is Jerry even doing? Jerry, some help over here, please. In the previous issue, Jerry, who is a werewolf, he has had some mental trauma. He has created. He's killed what he thought he killed Tigress and some other people that he's either wounded or hurt or killed when he's in his werewolf form, because he kind of loses control when he's a werewolf. So it got to be so much for him that he stayed in his wolf form. He was a werewolf, and he just was like, screw it, I cannot deal with all of this stuff. I'm going to stay in my wolf form. So he stayed in his wolf form, and he was taken in by some villains, and so he became a dog fighting wolf. So he would be in matches with all of these other dogs or wolves or whatever, and he would fight, only as a wolf. So he kind of lost his mind, not as in crazy, but as in just lost his soul into the wolf form. He was more wolf than he was human, and he just stayed that way until Vaughn came along. I know I was going to not explain everything in Mutandis, but I'm going to do that here. Vaughn came to the dog fighting pits, and he kind of really just pleaded with him, and he wanted to make Jerry his friend because they're best friends, and he wanted his best friend back. So he pleaded with him to get out of his wolf form and stuff. So that happened. But Jerry is still in this funk because he feels like he's killed all of these people and he's done all these horrible things. So he's not going to do any more violence at all. No more fighting, Vaughn. I'm done. You see, even the pathetic wolf creature sees the futility of your fight. So much blood on my hands. So much. The alien swirls and prepares to kill Jerry, excuse me. Ah, Vaughn, because he's turned, he's going to kill Jerry. Vaughn blasts him with his radiation power, because his name is Radiant. Um, how dare you? How dare you ever touch the Lord Dominant? You should be kneeling. In fact, with the power you took, power you took from your I took from your cousin. I'll bend you to my will. Get to your knees. So he took Sean's powers. Sean is his cousin, and Sean is a telekinetic, and he killed Sean. What? On your knees. Um, can't resist, no matter how I fight. And you killed Sean? I'll make you pay. I mean, how awesome is that? Jerry, why won't you help me? I've caused so much pain. I'm sorry, Vaughn. I can't. Jerry, it wasn't you. It was the beast in you. You'll be next, wolf beast. Just you wait to be my fourth victim. And then, so I have this stuff that I'm working on, and that is page 5, and this is page 6, and we are going to do some inking. We're gonna ink some of Jerry because I have the rest of the stuff to draw, but let's get into it. Um, this is brand new, inking, drawing on camera. So we're going to try our best to figure out how to do it. And I'm also going to be yapping while I'm drawing because, as much as I like to watch other people draw, and I watch Jim Lee draw or I don't know, all of them, but you have to be talking while you're drawing, or it just becomes kind of boring for me anyway. So we're gonna try to ink his face. See if I can get this over here and do this like this. So the way I do it is I use a number 1 for the eyes and nose and mouth. I think I'll be using a number 2 because I'm inking with these microns. Anybody else that uses these or doesn't use these, let me know. I'm always interested in the tools and techniques that people use. I know Kurt Brugel, I don't think he uses microns at all. And he's fascinating. I love watching him ink on their Turbo Pit Fighter channel. I'm going to try to get him on here as soon as I can too. But we will try to do this. If anybody has any questions or anything, just let me know and I will try to answer them. So I'm going to do this here, I guess. Inking for me is it's almost a, I grew up and I always wanted to be a penciler. I didn't want to be an inker. And I think there were a lot of people that were in the same boat, that they either they wanted to be an inker or they wanted to be a penciler, or they grew up wanting to be a penciler, and then they were like, well, I can only make money if I'm an inker, or I can make money inking because you can ink faster than you can pencil. I think I think I guess it depends. But let me know what you guys think. If you think inking is faster than penciling, I think it is, because one of the hardest parts for me is um, having a blank page. Even if the script is written for me, having that blank page and then just trying to get that blank page filled with whatever it is. I mean, obviously that's a very difficult part, and I think a lot of people um, get intimidated by that part, and I'm intimidated before I'm even starting any kind of project or anything like that. I'm super intimidated by uh, just getting that first panel, just getting that, working on that page. It's super intimidating, I would say. I'm going to switch to a number 1. This is 0.05. So we're going to no, let's switch to a 3, just because I'm feeling it. So this page, if you've seen Funk number 1, you know that the cover was done by me. And this is a very similar to the page that I did for Funk, the cover for Funk number 1. Only I'm pretty proud of that. I think it might be my favorite Mutandis picture that I've ever done. And it's just Jerry attacking the dominant and, trying to kill him or whatever. Here, wolf noses, dog noses, so very hard. I have such a hard time with them. I think I make them a little bit too big, um, but I don't know. Um, it's always hard to say with your own art. You kind of have to other people have to um, give you feedback or whatever, which is what I really love about the Random Access chat group is, and any artists out there that if you don't want to submit stuff to Random Access, you can still join the chat. It's just great artists always talking about different stuff, whether it's art or movies or music or anything, and it's just a great way to kind of interact with other artists and some cool people. So if you're an artist, or even if you're not an artist, if you're not an artist and you're just a fan, hit me up if you'd like to join the chat group. I would love it. That would be great. But anyway, uh, I think I kind of messed this up a little bit, because no, actually this is behind him. Um, so noses are really hard for wolves and dogs and stuff. I have a bear for the newest thing by Jamie Barrows is Barbarian Maidens, and my sequence is of Crom's sister Lala, and she fights a bear in towards the end, which I am not entirely sure. I think that doesn't come until the second 4 pages, and I've only got the first 4 pages done. And I've kind of decided that I need to get into this Mutandis stuff, and so I'm putting that a little bit on the back burner, and we will see. We will see. There's lots of hair in this, which is cool because I love drawing hair. My favorite thing to draw is stuff that is organic. Like I love drawing trees, bark, anything like that that's organic. I love that. This is the eyebrows. My monster eyebrows, in particular, sometimes just the people eyebrows, are hugely inspired by Todd McFarlane. I don't think really anything else is as inspired by any other artist. Although there are a few things that I do generally like. I'm like, really, this one thing I really want to draw like somebody else, like ankles. I try to draw my ankles, especially women's ankles, like Arthur Adams. I think he draws the best ankles of all time, and I really like the eyebrows of Todd McFarlane creatures. I love that. His Malbolgia and just basically, but really, it was before Spawn because I like Spawn. Spawn's okay, but really, when I think of Todd McFarlane, I think of the Hulks, whether or not they're um, I can't remember what issues of the Hulks that he did, but I really love his Hulks. I think they're his best work. But I also think, I mean, usually I think people's first works are the most inspired. I think he was trying his hardest for those pages. Not to say his other pages aren't fantastic because they are, obviously. I mean, his Spider-Man stuff and even his Bond stuff I really like. But I think just because I really like the Hulk and uh, I don't know, I just something about his Hulk stuff I really like more than anything else. And it was a monster. And really, my favorite thing, like I said, about Todd McFarlane's art is his monster creating, and I think that's really cool. Um, so I'm going to be babbling like this as I'm drawing, and hopefully I'll be babbling about stuff that pertains to the art that I'm working on, and this is page 6. I have page 4 and 5 roughed out, which, like I said, that's the hardest part for me is the roughing out of um, the pages. Once I do that, I'm pretty fast at filling in the details and stuff like that, and then going in and inking. Um, Again, if you can't hear me, let me know. Or I guess if you can't hear me, you wouldn't be asking me to. You wouldn't hear me asking you to let me know if you can't hear me. It's so sad because my wife and I on New Year's Eve did this Ouija board thing video, and it was a live stream, and I was really interested in it. I thought it was really cool, especially I mean I was doing it with my wife, and that was the first time we'd ever done a video or anything like that. And the for some reason the audio in my phone did not kick in, so or is really low, and so you all you could hear was like mumbling and brr, 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 brr kind of stuff, which it was really too bad because I really loved um, the the whole video. It was a lot of us talking about do we believe in it? Uh, Thanks, Dave, sir. That's awesome. Um, oh, I can't see the let's see top chat messages. Oh, thanks, Ververick, Ververick, Ververick. Uh, I appreciate you telling me that the audio is okay. Like I said, oh, I don't think said this. I have this new this mic that I got for Christmas, and I tried it. First, I tried it on a live stream with Joe, and it didn't work. So then I tried it again, and it still didn't work. And so today I'm like, oh, I'm going to try it again, and I still couldn't get it to work. And then my wife's like, well, did you read the instructions? And I'm like, well, no, because nobody cool reads the instructions and the rules and stuff. So she read them, and she turned it on. I didn't have the mic on. She's like, did you hit the power button until the green light? And I'm like, what green light? What are you talking about? So she hits the power button, did a little test, and it worked. So thank you to my wife. And I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. Um, so yeah, doing more Mutandis stuff. Um, I'm also wondering how you guys know the stuff that I'm doing. Um, I had somebody message me on Kickstarter saying that they found out about my work from some New York Comic Con where they picked up Mutandis. I don't know what Mutandis they picked up, um, but they picked up Mutandis, and that's how they knew me. And that's really kind of how most people know my work is from Mutandis. But I kind of think that that's changing a little bit, which I kind of like because I don't mind being known for Power Comics and for Mutandis and stuff. I genuinely like Mutandis. I think it's cool. But at the same time, I wouldn't mind being known for Cyrene or Forlorn or Morgrim. I mean, I really think that Morgrim has a chance to become an iconic character. What does it take to become an iconic character? That is a good question, but I think it's kind of possible. Um, what iconic characters do you think indie comics has? Because indie comics really they don't indie artists don't really focus on a lot of characters because they're always doing different things, whether it's um, testing out different styles of art or different techniques of art, and so or the storylines and stuff like that. So I really think that characters are a huge draw because as a comic book fan, I will always check in on Thor. I will always check in on Daredevil. I will always check in on the X-Men. So every once in a while, I'll pick up an issue. Whether or not I like it is another story because of the creative um, team or whatever. But if I'm picking up, whatever those issues are, it's because I enjoy the characters, and so I kind of would really like to um, get most of the random access people. I really would love them to focus on creating characters and really kind of sticking with them, which I have had a hard time sticking with certain characters. I mean, that's why I started random access so I could jump from character to character. And because I get a horrible comic book fatigue. Like after between 8 and 10 pages, I kind of mail it in a little bit sometimes. Uh, it's a horrible thing to admit, but it's true. No matter how interesting it is or how cool the storyline is, I just, I'm always wanting to go into the next thing, into the next storyline, the next character, and stuff like that. I think one of the things that I'm going to do, and as you probably know, because if you see my videos, I kind of jump from topic to topic often. It's just kind of I don't know if it's my personality, but it's definitely my video personality because things just kind of pop into my head. That's why I don't write a script for my reviews and stuff because I like things to come off of the cuff and really be really fluid. Not to mention that would just be too much time to kind of put into it. And I love making the videos, but I make the videos because it's like talking to about comic books with you guys. That's what I'm doing. Yes, I'm reviewing them, so I'm going into all of the different nuances of the art style and the writing style and the plot and the characters and all of that stuff and whether I like it or not. But that's really just talking to you guys like it's a conversation. And I really much more enjoy doing that kind of thing than sitting down and writing what I think about the good and the bad and stuff like that from the reviews. So that's kind of my thought process there, I guess. I need a little bit more hair. I love drawing the hair, but sometimes I feel like I could go off the rails and do too much, which that's with all of my inking is pretty much like that. I feel like I could overdo it, and I think that's probably why a lot of people think my stuff looks unfinished, and I think that's probably why, because I think I would rather see something unfinished than overly done. Again, let me know what you guys think because um, that's something that I really am concerned about and think about quite a bit is something being done. Like when do you know that something is finished? When do you know that it's done? And it's I think it's going to be an age old question that a lot of people are uh, are thinking about or they do think about, especially inking. Um, like when is the page done that you're inking? That's the thing. That's the question. So I don't plan on just doing this on Wednesdays. I'm going to be inking and drawing and stuff um, pretty much all the time. So hopefully I'll be able to show you this, and there'll be more of it done um, than just this, and you'll be like, hey, that's cool. But I don't know. I have a lot of projects going on. I have this. I have Morgrim #2. I have um, 1900 1900s horror, which is a um, thing that I'm coloring right now. So I'm not going to be doing that on screen, both because I'm not nearly good enough to do that, and B, I have no idea how I would do that, even if I wanted to, which I kind of don't because I kind of don't think my coloring's quite good enough yet. Give me a few more years, and maybe it will be um, up to snuff. Uh, so some of my werewolf stuff. Um, I don't know. It doesn't look like traditional werewolf stuff to me. I think I just have my own style of doing it, my own way of doing it, and I think that's perfectly okay. It's a little bit less um, realistic, and that is again, that's one of the topics I really want to talk to Paul Courtjohn about that, about realism and and its place in comics and what is worth more, realism or cartoony style, because I really think that that is a huge thing to look at. It's a huge thing to look at, and it's a huge I think it's a huge topic because so many people struggle either to find their style or whether or not they're realistic enough. Um, So I don't know about that. I do know that I've added a little bit of a cartoony style to my work. It hasn't really been intentional. I don't think the styles are intentional. I think when you start out with your art, you kind of can gain a style. Well, everybody starts out with their art, and they've got artists that they like, that they love, and they have so they kind of emulate them. I mean, Bill Sienkiewicz emulated Neil Adams, and I mean, look how many people have emulated Jack Kirby. Pretty much, almost so many. Walter Simonson was like a Jack Kirby emulator, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But then, as time goes by, your style just kind of changes and evolves and turns into something else. But also, because some of that is because you're finding new influences. Like my biggest influence when I first started out was Walt Simonson. I wanted to draw just like Walt Simonson. The way he has so much energy, he has so many. Um, it's almost a crackling, but his line work, so much of that stuff that I just really wanted to emulate. Obviously, I couldn't, but I tried, and so I tried to do that, and but then I found so many other artists that I really love. Arthur Adams is another one. It's a huge one that I tried to kind of emulate some of his stuff. Kind of like I said, I do my ankles as much like Arthur Adams as I can, and I still do that as much as I can. Draw ankles like Arthur Adams. But I mean, there's so many other artists that influence me, even if my conscious mind isn't saying, "Hey, I'm going to try to do that." My subconscious mind is definitely looking at it and thinking, maybe I can put some of that into my own artwork. Matt Wagner is a huge one, and also actually John Romita Jr. I still to this day emulate his clouds. I try to do clouds a lot like he does. He does this very, I don't know what you call it, like a puffy cloud up top, and then hatching lines on the bottom to give it kind of a smooth undercoating, and then above it's like billowy and puffy. And I really kind of I try to do that, not in a like I'm not looking at his art and taking it from that. It's more like just from memory. Like I'm remembering all of the X-Men issues where he would do something like that, and then I would try to emulate it from there. Really, um, sometimes my faces I think look a little bit like John Byrne or Jim Lee. I'm not entirely sure why, because those are two of the artists that I think they're wonderful. They're great artists, but I have never thought it to myself, I really want to draw like John Byrne or Jim Lee. Um, like I said, I think they're fantastic, but uh, I've never really wanted to draw like them, which is really odd because you would think that if you really like an artist and you are an artist, why wouldn't you try to emulate that and do it? But like one of my favorite artists, maybe my second favorite artist, is Bill Sienkiewicz. But I recognize that I would never want to draw like that. Um, I don't know why. I love it. Same as Simon Bisley. I love his artwork. Um, would I draw like that if I could? I don't think I would. Um, I'm a little bit more of a clean artist. Um, I don't know if you would say that, if I would say that. Um, but yeah, I think so, because I mean you've got these artists that are just, they're out there, they're crazy, and they throw the ink on, and they I would not categorize that as Kurt Rugel's inking style, but his has a certain amount of confidence to it. I think maybe that is some of my drawback when it comes to my inking, is that a lot of inking is confidence. A lot of art is just the confidence that you have with what you're doing, and whether or not you are confident enough to pull off what you're trying to do. Penciling, you don't need that confidence because you can erase it, and you can erase and you can change and you can fix. Inking, but really, it's not the same thing. It really isn't the same thing. Like penciling, you can just whip out your eraser and undo it. It's like it never happened. And I guess, I mean, you can do that with inking, but it's so much more of a hassle to do that. I realize that the you this is a big mess kind of with the fur, and this really kind of looks like, it almost looks to me like the cover of one of the Mutandises. His face is a little bit wider, because I have him kind of going this way, and so it's a little bit wider. And I don't know, the fur looks a little bit less like the funk cover, which is one of my favorite, like I said, one of my favorite covers that I've done and illustrations that I've done, and one of my favorite Jerry's that I've done. So I don't know why that is, but um, I'm going to add in some blacks, so that will become a little bit more defined, which is really, I guess, what I'm looking for as far as figuring out what I'm doing with the inking, is that I need the definition of these wisps of hair to kind of um, stand out, I guess. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how that happens. So I'm also working, like I said, I'm also working on Wargrim #2. I have one page almost all done, almost inked and everything, and I'm also drawing the next page, which I'm pretty happy with. The story. Um, I'm not going to go too much into the story because it will ruin some of it. But it really kind of isn't going the way I thought it was gonna go. I will say this: I was originally going to have um, heavily doodly. I don't think that's a word. Um, Heavy on Morgrim and the guy who found him as a baby, their relationship, because he teaches Morgrim how to do a lot of stuff, and he really raises him like he's his son. And I was really going to kind of focus on more on Morgrim, and I will get to that part, but I don't really want to rush things. So I think the first part of the Morgrim 2 is going to be um, the what's his name? I can't even remember his name. But the father figure of Morgrim, and his history, or his origin and stuff. But also, I'm delving into the world of Theostoria, which is the world that Morgrim comes from, and I'm really kind of going to delve into that a little bit more than I really thought I was going to. But I think as a world building thing, which is what Morgrim is, it's Theostoria is a much bigger world than just what Morgrim is. And so I wanted to really kind of get into that and really show some of the history and stuff. I'm really thinking of trying to get some artists together and doing an anthology that would be called Stories of Theostoria. And anybody that doesn't know, Theostoria is the world of Morgrim, because it takes the words theism, which is a gods, and Theostoria is ruled by all of the old gods, and most of them are evil, most of them are bad, and they just kind of play with humanity and play with everybody just because they can, whether or not they kill them outright, or they just, you know, do whatever they can to make humans' life miserable, is what they're kind of what they're doing. And so a lot of people don't like the gods. I mean, yes, there are the heretics and stuff that love the gods, and there's actually just worshipers of the gods. Um, so that's where the Thea comes from. But it's Storia. is, just a story. So it's really basically the Astoria is the story of the gods, and that is an integral part of Morgrim, because he has gone on this quest to get rid of the gods. And I've said that plenty of times before, so I don't think I'm ruining that for anybody. And hopefully, and so that's where it's at and where it's coming from. So anyway, I'm going to call this a day, and there's some Mutandis inking, penciling, inking, whatever. Because as you can see, a lot of my stuff, the pencils aren't as tight as they could be. They're just kind of rough, and then they go in with the inking. A lot of indie artists really do that, I think. And so, but I'm going to have to draw this a little tighter because I'm not really sure about what's going on here. And same thing with his legs and stuff. I'm going to have to tighten that up quite a bit. And but we'll get into that. And maybe next week I'll have even more pages, or maybe I'll be inking some more Grim, or something else that I'm working on. Um, but anyway, thanks for watching. I do want to get into this because I'm not just going to be drawing. Sometimes I'm going to be doing model work or stuff like that. And one of the things that I'm going to do is I'm going to be making this model, which is Star Blazers 2199. And I'm really looking forward to this. I want to actually get all of them. Um, it doesn't have the Yamato, Space Battleship Yamato, but none of these are the Yamato. So I don't know about that. I don't know what this is. um, Mecha Collie, number 11. I don't know what this is. Um, hey, that's longer than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be short. But anyway, I have this Battleship Yamamoto, Yamamoto. But as you can see, it's pretty ragged looking. Some of the gun turrets are broken, and so what I'm going to do, I'm going to build some rocks, and I'm going to have it coming out of the rocks. As you guys may know, if you've seen the show, um, oftentimes the Yamato gets destroyed or almost destroyed, and it gets blown apart and it's smoking. So I'm going to have some smoke coming out. I would love to have the wave motion gun shooting. So I'm going to try to do something like that. But I think I would like to maybe cut some of these parts out, and because there's like some wings here that are supposed to come out, and this bottom part, I don't know. I might actually have to break down and buy another. Oh, I just broke another piece. Another piece of another model of the Yamato. I don't know if I might do that. Or, I mean, my favorite thing about the show is when they are. It's almost like Rocky. It's getting the Yamato is getting the broken down. It's getting beaten. It's getting zapped. It's smoke is swirling everywhere, and then all of a sudden it comes through the smoke, whoosh, and it shoots the wave motion gun. Maybe I'll just put a light in there. That would be kind of cool. Um, but that's my favorite part of the show. Much like when Godzilla is, beaten and broken, and he comes back and he, breathes his light, his air stuff. But anyway, we're gonna work on this. I'm not much of a model guy, so anybody that has any kind of recommendations about modeling, let me know. I'm also going to be doing some cool model stuff with my Star Trek models, so that should be really cool to check out. I would really enjoy that. But anyway, that's stuff that is coming up in the next few months. There's going to be basically when I'm streaming, it's going to be whatever I feel like doing at the time. So might do this next week or get into it. Might not. Might still do this. But we're always going to be doing the trivia, and hopefully I'll get some guests. Hopefully I'll get Paul Courtjohn. Hopefully I'll get Adam Yater. And anybody like that. Any of you guys that are in Random Access, or any other artists that would like to come on the show, just contact me, and um, we'll get you on, and that would be really fun. So anyway, thanks for watching. Again, there's only a couple more hours for Morgrim, the Savage Cyclops, and a bus for everybody. There's a bus for you. Here's a bus for you, which is what Joe Leonardo said in the Random Access chat. There's a bus for you. There's a bus for you. So everybody that donates or backs Morgram gets a bust, and that'd be cool. So if you do back it, I really appreciate it, and thank you so much. And again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you with a real review on Friday. And until then, what do I always say? I always say, keep on creating.